I don't even know. Hi. We're going that way. Hiking. Hi, I'm Jenny, and I'm in Death Valley at mile marker number 98. Who killed him? Who did? Man, this Mr. Lemoigne, and he was not a character. He was a very simple, kind man who just kind of liked to just mine. Well, that's okay though. That's okay, because we're making it happen. Hi, I'm Jenny, and I give you Jean Lemoigne's gravesite and some history. And it's out there. Okay, what are we doing out in the middle of the desert? I'm here with Desert Rat, Nevada, mile marker 98. We're hiking out to where Jean Lemoigne passed on. And in my backpack is I got a 30-pound headstone in my backpack. Because apparently there's nothing out here for this man. And everyone, this is my friend Mary. So Mr. Lemoigne died in 1919. And we're not sure why he was headed to Furnace Creek. He used to head to the west to get his supplies generally. There's 3 people who took credit for burying Mr. Lemoigne in the desert. And that would be Mr. Gower, Frank Crampton, and Scotty from Scotty's Castle. Now we know Frank Crampton actually saw Mr. Lemoigne as he's passed on, and supposedly he buried him, then went to Ryan and got Mr. Gower. Then we have Mr. Gower, who supposedly got word that he had passed on, came down with Oscar, another gentleman, and some natives, buried him in his burrows. Because he passed so quickly, he did not have time to release his burrows. Then took the watch and some money back to Ryan Camp and gave it to the funeral director. Then the third story is Death Valley Scotty from Scotty's Castle claimed to have found Mr. to buried him, but then didn't get any money. So we will never know who actually buried him. It's a fairly simple hike, just really, really rocky. And it's a workout with a headstone on your backpack. As we're walking, we can see super quickly we came away from the car. And that's one of the #1 things I tell people when we're hiking, and if you're visiting Death Valley, sure, if you want to just get out of the side of the road and pull over and walk from your car, but always keep your car in sight. Because it's really easy to go far and then get disoriented, and then next thing you know, you're not by your car. Woo! Okay, Mary did research too. What did you say?
That it's to the right of the big opening in the mesquite trees.
In the mesquite. We just stopped to notice because it looks like it's icy, but it's almost like it's glassy. It's soft, but it's hard. But then when you can see my fingers on it, it turns into poof dirt. Okay, we're getting closer. One thing I'm gonna notice out loud is that these mesquites are a lot taller than they look from far away. I was thinking to myself, are you sure this is them? It's gotta be them, but they look a lot smaller than the picture that we have. He was born in 1857, but he came over in what they believe to be 1880, maybe 1885. There was different conversations about that. His name's on a claim in 1880, but he came over to join his good friend Isidore, and when he arrived, he had committed suicide, supposedly. And although that was for the official record of why he passed on, Mr. Lemoigne never believed that, because he didn't think that his friend would do something like that to himself, and he always believed that there was nefarious, they wanted to do him in because of his borax claim. Oh yeah, lots of animals around here. We see animal tracks. Okay, we're going through the mesquite. Sorry. I just walk through and have it smack back on Mary. And this is an old trail that went into Furnace Creek. Like I mentioned, Mr. Lemoigne didn't necessarily travel to Furnace Creek too often. They think maybe he was sick. Okay, good thing Mary has eyes that work. Because I might have been walking around in a while. Oh, look at, there it is. Oh no, yeah, I'm glad I brought my shovel.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, Mr. Lemoigne, we're gonna fix you up. No problem. We're gonna take care of you here. Goodness gracious. Okay, let's just look at this. You can't even see anything on your gravesite. Okay, but don't worry. We've come to rescue your memory. Okay, just checking in. We've built kind of like a wall. We're gonna come out. We're gonna come back around. So he's got a nice, but look what I found buried. It's a devotional. Fear the right fear. Tragic ignorance. Let's see, let's put this down for a second. See what else we got. The mind of Christ, the word of the Spirit. We're gonna put that under, back in the ground once we finish up here. Okay, this is our update. We have gone this far. We're gonna go and gather more rocks from the desert to fill up his little circle. And then we will replace this special rock with the cross right on top. It is Frank Crampton and Shorty Harris supposedly found Mr. Lemoigne. And that is reasonably truthful because Frank Crampton has this picture here and it shows Mr. Lemoigne passed on. But Mr. Gower supposes that he only took that picture and then took credit for burying him. Gower claims that there's no way Mr. Crampton would have buried or anybody in the hot August sun. That he was not that kind of guy. We're off, hi-ho, hi-ho, to get the rocks we go. We've left the backpack and brought the bag. We're going back to the car first to get clippers so we can trim the salt cedars. Those aren't even salt cedars. That's a mesquite?
Yep.
So let me just, hold on, I'm having this moment. So the mesquite trees are the little alien trees? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mary's saying yes. Because those mesquite trees have tiny claws that will just attack you and go into your skin.
You decided to climb into the mesquite trees.
Yeah. Yeah, technically I was climbing in the mesquite trees. Well, actually she said don't do that. And I said, but I have clippers. And then she was like, where? They don't have them with you. But so we're going back to the car, getting clippers, collecting rocks, and gloves. But I was feeling awkward because I left my backpack behind me. And it's just weird to be hiking in the middle of the desert without my backpack on. But it's okay. I think we're gonna make it there just fine. So we filled our bag. We're each gonna grab a handle and get back out to where he was buried. We are almost back to the mesquite. It is heavy. Got a bag of rocks walking through the desert. Who ever knew? So I'm gonna talk about Mr. Lemoigne. So apparently, while we're cleaning, apparently Mr. Lemoigne was known for his really good coffee. And his secret was to use a lot of coffee. Which I think is great because back in the day, I'm sure people when they came out didn't use a lot of coffee because, you know, they used it sparingly. But we got a bunch of rocks. Mary's getting the salt, the mesquite, not the salt, mesquite out of the way. Oh, there's a hole. Don't come out, nothing come out of there. Please don't have anything come out of there.
You're covering the hole back up.
You find holes. I'm like, oh my. There's a hole. Okay. There's Mary getting the mesquite. Hey, Mr. Lemoigne, you're gonna have a dope little spot now. We've got this much. There's a small spot here for you to come and pay your respects and leave a rock for Mr. Lemoigne. Also, partially because that was just a really intense workout, and I still think it's more than 50 pounds of rocks. Now we're gonna get the headstone. That's what I made. Jean Old John Lemoigne, 1857 to 1919, who never looked for anything where anyone else would expect to find it, but where others were afraid to try. It's gorgeous. After much organizing, we've got the headstone down. We've got the crystal and the cross back kind of in the same position as we found it. We leave space for you to bring your own rock should you like it, or if I come out again, I'll bring another rock. And now we've got a headstone. There were so many stories about Mr. Lemoigne. I just love the fact that he was a simple and honest man. I keep seeing like these weird things. Like, look at this rock. It's all flat. I'm just fascinated. I'm like, oh, shiny rock in the desert. Okay, so as we were walking out of here, let's say goodbye. Now when you come to the desert, we tried to save you as much as we can. Bye, Mr. Lemoigne. You got a pretty nice view. So those lines are snakes?
Or lizard tails, dragging. Probably lizards.
Lizard tails. I get little holes, and yeah, I see the little feet prints. That's why when I saw that one hole under the mesquite. But what's interesting is that if the park had been taking care of this mesquite wouldn't look like this. It wouldn't be a giant mound. They would have come out once a year and just kind of cleaned it up a little bit. But somewhere between 1978 and when it became a national park, everybody decided that because he was not flamboyant and Mr. all about money and crazy, that he was just like a really smart, humble man, that he didn't deserve to be recognized or something. I don't know. He's recognized now. His silver mine that Sarah and I went up to, that dugout that we weren't sure what that was, that I believe that's the remnants of his first stone cabin that was there. Then up past where we were on his cabin was actual mining equipment that's still up there. Some kind of loader thing. There's a explorer that I found online that went there. Mr. Lemoigne's silver mine was his constant source of income. And the only reason why he did not sell the silver mine is that everybody that offered him money offered him a check, and he did not believe in banks. He thought banks were shifty, and he would not accept a check. He even went to San Francisco a few times to sell it. But then at some point, he just realized that that's just always had money in it, and so he, just kind of kept it until he died. This man had, he had mines that went from Barstow up to Ely, up to Virginia City, over to the Sierra Nevadas. But the mine that I want to figure out where it's at is some kind of mine called the Bullet Mine. And he is connected to that in the 1880s because the Native Americans would pull their silver out, and that's where they made their bullets. Is from the Bullet Mine, because it always had silver. And so I don't know. I think that's over in the Panamint area. Who knows where we're going to go to next. This is just such an adventure, because pretty much the only reason why this happened is because of the fact of that hike. And I was trying to figure out, who is this guy? On a live stream in 2022, we will have live stream talk time. We're going to talk about Mr. Lemoigne and the original castle of Death Valley that he built. Well, he didn't exactly build it. The caretaker of his money built it for him. But we're going to read that story in 2022 on the new live stream format. Mary and I are talking on the way back to the car, and Mary brought up a really good point. Because I was complaining about, like, I don't understand how between 78 and 94 they just completely ignore him. And then I mentioned, well, okay, well, people, who's going to just want to walk a mile into the middle of the desert to go see him? And then Mary said,
well, it doesn't really matter if they're going to hike out there and see him. It's about honoring him and respecting him, not about people seeing him.
Somebody should get on that. Oh, I'm back at my car. I'm gonna change clothes and we're gonna go take pictures. Thank you for coming with us on this wonderful history adventure of who is Mr. Lemoigne and why is he buried in the middle of Death Valley. Be grateful, make good choices in your own adventures, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash that like button. Pump that stock.